Autonomy isn't automation. And knowing the difference, well, it really matters. Too many teams are using autonomous agents for jobs better suited to automation. Sound familiar? Then stick with me, because this misunderstanding is costing teams time, money, and momentum. I'm Matt, and I lead teams that deliver AI agents into real enterprises, where the balance between cost, complexity, scale, and reliability really matter. And so you need to take the right decisions. So automation and autonomy. There's a big difference, but it doesn't need to be a binary decision. We're going to talk about how to understand that difference, assess which approach to take, and when and how the two can coexist. So let's define the terms, because this distinction is where it all begins. Automation is about doing. It follows predefined steps with clear inputs and expected outputs. Autonomy is about deciding and doing. It brings judgment, adaptation, and goal-driven behavior into the mix. Think of it like this. Automation executes, autonomy chooses and then executes. Here's the difference in action. With automation, an invoice processing bot scans a PDF, validates the data, and books it in the finance system. Fast, repeatable, and rules-based. With autonomy, a procurement agent evaluates supply reliability, negotiates better terms based on urgency, and adapts its strategy in real time. One follows rules, the other reasons about the best move and acts accordingly. Two important concepts that you may have heard used are deterministic and non-deterministic. Let's quickly cover what they mean. Deterministic systems have predictability. This typically relates to automation of workflows, rule-based systems, same input, same output, always. Whilst non-deterministic typically relates to autonomous agents that have multiple possible actions, influenced by context, memory, even stochastic reasoning. And this matters in business. Predictability is critical in, say, compliance and audit, whereas flexibility is essential in people interactions. Let's start with a problem definition, because that's where everything begins. Ask yourself, what specific problem are we trying to solve, and what kind of decision making does it involve? Is it straightforward and repeatable, or does it need flexibility and judgment? Think about how complex the process is, how much data is involved, and how often conditions change. If the task is stable, repeatable, and structured, automation might be all you need. But if it requires adaptation, handles real-time variables, or involves business-critical decisions, then autonomy might be the better choice. Now the big mistake. People are using agents for basic automation. More cost, more complexity, and no extra value. I'm seeing quite a bit of this. That's like hiring a McKinsey consultant to press a button. So here's the rule. If your task is repeatable and rules-based, just automate it. If your task involves context, uncertainty, or goals, consider autonomy. Don't confuse the two, and don't use agents for automation. I keep seeing people thinking they need to use agents and will somehow get caught out if they use automation. It's okay to use automation in the right context. But is it really that simple? Well, not quite. And this isn't a one-time decision. Automation doesn't sit apart from agentic AI. In fact, it often forms the foundation. Over time, your automated processes can evolve towards autonomy. Before we dive into that, let's just take a look at the types of automation and autonomy. They sound similar, but they operate in very different principles. We'll start with automation. So automation is about getting repetitive work done with limited human intervention. Let's explore the main types. Now, a few have evolved over the years, but it's worth covering them. Each type builds on the last, from simple rules to full stack orchestration. First up, rules-based automation, or RBA, simple if this then that logic. Examples being auto-approving low-value invoices or flagging incomplete forms. Second, robotic process automation, or RPA. This mimics human actions on digital systems. Think copying data between systems, processing payroll or CRM data entry. Next, we have workflow automation, which automates multi-step processes across teams or systems. Some examples being onboarding new hires or routing IT tickets. Fourth is script or macro and IT automation, which is developer-led. Things like Excel macros or PowerShell scripts used for repetitive admin tasks, system updates, or server management. Next, intelligent automation, which combines RPA with AI, ideal for unstructured data or light decisioning. Think document interpretation, smart chatbots, or basic fraud detection. And 6, business process automation, BPA, end-to-end automation across departments. Examples being from quote to cash or claims processing in insurance. And finally, hyper-automation. This is enterprise-level blend of the above, combining RPA, AI analytics, and orchestration. This is used for enterprise-scale transformations like autonomous loan approvals or supply chain ops. Now let's move from automation to autonomy. This is delivered through AI agents, the ability for the system to make decisions on its own. To make this real, we use a simple example that I always like to use, which is an autonomous car. So there are 5 levels of agent sophistication, each building on the last. First up, reflex agents. These are purely reactive. If X, then Y. The autonomous car slams the brakes when it sees an obstacle. No memory, no context, just reflex. Next, model-based agents. Now it builds awareness, has memory. It tracks its speed, its lane, and nearby vehicles. So instead of braking every time, it might change lanes or slow down more smoothly. It reacts, but with context. Third up, goal-based agents. This agent has intent. Its goal to get from A to B efficiently. It plans routes, reroutes for traffic, and adapts if the destination changes. It no longer is just reacting, it's choosing based on purpose. Fourth, utility-based agents. Now it's optimizing. It weighs trade-offs, speed versus fuel efficiency, or avoiding toll roads versus scenic views. It doesn't just want to arrive, it wants to arrive the best way it can for you. And finally, learning agents. These improve over time. They learn your habits, preferences, and patterns. So in the context of the car, it adapts routes, avoids roads you dislike, and adjusts behavior based on experience. The more they operate, the smarter they become. This progression shows how autonomy scales from basic reactivity to strategic adaptive behavior. Most enterprise agents today sit between goal-based and early learning stages. One technique I recommend is to map out a transformation roadmap showing how parts of your organization can move to basic automation and then move on to more autonomous agentic systems. We'll cover more of this approach with some examples in the next video. But for now, think of it like this. An agent decides what to do. Automation handles how to do it. The agent drives strategy, automation drives execution. That's the sweet spot. Use agents where you need adaptive decision making. Use automation to make it run fast, reliably, and at scale. You can have composable architectures of micro agents that break the problem down into simplicity, flexibility, and scale. These agents can have more specialist skills. This approach enables a hybrid of autonomy and automation combined, agents working with automation where one doesn't replace the other. Let's walk through how automation and autonomy work together in a real-world scenario. Let's use customer support. In the visual, blue shows autonomy and green automation. It starts with a customer raising a ticket via email, chat, or web form. Step 1, pre-processing. So automation cleans and structures the message into usable data. Step 2, classification and intent detection. Moving into autonomy, a model determines what the issue is: billing, cancellation, product complaint. And step 3, prioritization. The system ranks urgency based on rules or machine learning models, for example, flagging VIPs or urgent keywords. Step 4, decision making. Now we lean more on autonomy. The system chooses the best resolution path, which then moves into automation to execute the tasks, which are send a tailored response, trigger self-service workflow, or escalate to a human agent, or even updating a back-end system, for example, CRM. Step 5, response and feedback. So once action is taken, we listen. Did it resolve the issue? Was the customer satisfied? And finally, step 6, logging and learning. The system logs what happened and why, feeding future decisions and auditability. So in this flow, automation handles structured steps, pre-processing, classification, and updates, whereas autonomy comes in when reasoning, prioritization, and adaptive decision-making are needed. It's a fluid hybrid model, fast where it can be, flexible where it needs to be. That's the future of intelligent operations. It's not automation or autonomy, it's automation and autonomy working in sync. Autonomous agents sound powerful, and they are. But if you use them where simple automation would do, you're paying for complexity you simply don't need. So let's break down the hidden costs. First up, engineering overhead. Agents need memory, planning, observability, and orchestration to hold it all together. I've talked about that before. Automation, well, you can build it in Power Automate or Zapier in an afternoon. Next, debugging complexity. Deterministic systems are easy to test. Agents make decisions, and that means variance, edge cases, unexpected paths, and the whole concept of evals to deal with. Then there's governance risk. With automation, you know exactly what will happen. With agents, you need policies, monitoring, and often human in the loop to stay safe and compliant. And let's not forget latency and cost. Planning and reasoning take time and compute cost. Automation is fast and cheap. Agents can be slow and expensive, especially if they're calling external models or APIs. And finally, overfitting the problem. Just because you can use an agent doesn't mean you should. Over-engineering leads to brittle, bloated systems that are harder to evolve later. So the rule is simple. Don't deploy intelligence where logic will do. Start lean, automate where you can, use autonomy where you must. So that's it for this episode. Remember, not every task needs autonomy. Just like I don't let my 5-year-old decide what's for dinner every night. Some things are just better with clear rules and zero negotiation. So see you next time.